Chelsea look like they're going to have one of the best midfields in world football. Moises Caicedo has put pen to paper. Romeo Lavia looks like he's following him. This is two players snubbing Liverpool. And Enzo Fernandez's performance on the weekend was elite. These three midfielders, we have got strength in depth. We look like we are going to be covered in all areas when it comes to resisting the press, when it comes to making interceptions, when it comes to disrupting play, and when it comes to making a key pass. We've now got three players who are all adept in doing so. And this is looking very promising. Now, of course, expectations for Chelsea this season are low. We shouldn't be getting carried away. We've had an abysmal season. But the way we've picked things up in pre-season, Pochettino has come in and worked some magic. It looks like there's a lot more togetherness. And what I saw on the weekend against Liverpool gave me a lot of encouragement. And I'm looking at this midfield now that was looking quite weak a few weeks ago, without Caicedo being confirmed, without being linked to Lavia. It was consisting of Gallagher, Enzo, Caicedo, Santos, all brilliant young prospects, but that are not quite there yet. And bringing in Caicedo and Lavia, who are of course still young prospects, but perhaps have got a bit more Premier League experience, we have all of a sudden got a premium midfield now. Now, I think Nkunku getting injured has definitely changed the plans for this season. I think Pochettino has tinkered his strategy a bit. You saw that even in the lineup against Liverpool. It wasn't the classic 4-2-3-1. We went with three at the back. Chilwell was a lot on the left, was pretty much a winger for most of that game. As you saw, Colwell move quite far left as well. You know, with his great delivery, we were putting a lot of passes together on the left-hand side. And that was one of the that was just a glimpse of Pochettino changing his tried and trusted system to suit this Chelsea team, to suit the personnel that we have. And I think the same thing seems to be the case in midfield. Now, Enzo Fernandez, number 8. I liked Enzo Fernandez, number 5. I liked Enzo, number 5. It had a ring to it. It worked. Everything looked great. But at the end of the day, we all knew after watching Enzo last season that he was sort of he was being staggered. He was kind of not being, had that free reign, had that ability to spray the passes, run around, because he had defensive duties to make. He didn't have a partner alongside him that I think worked. Of course, we had Kovacic, we had Loftus-Cheek, but there just wasn't quite that pairing that convinced me that we were going to unlock Enzo Fernandez's potential at that point. But now, with Moises Caicedo coming through the door, you can clearly see what Enzo Fernandez is going to be capable of. He was paired with Gallagher on the weekend, and I don't want to do Conor Gallagher a disservice because he was absolutely fantastic. He made some key challenges in the final third, in the first third, and also made some great passes. And his press, his tenacity, you know, that is what you get with Conor Gallagher, and it's always a 50-50. I never know whether I think Conor Gallagher should have a future at Chelsea or he shouldn't, but the display on the weekend was very encouraging. However, Moises Caicedo now, that's pretty much going to be a pairing. Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. However, with the acquisition of Lavia now, and Nkunku being injured, I am seeing that there might be some tinkering with this midfield, considering how progressive Enzo was on the weekend, how key he was. He literally put in, I think, maybe his best performance in a Chelsea shirt to date. I mean, he's had a few strong performances, but the one against Liverpool on the weekend really was outstanding. And I just think that he was playing more advanced. You know, he had the number 8 on his back, and I just felt like he completely he embraced that role. He was definitely told to push further forward, and that's been a lot of the issues Chelsea fans have seen in midfield. Enzo's not getting further up the pitch. He's not being able to make them key passes. And it looks like we are now going to have Caicedo sweeping up at the midfield, disrupting the defence, making sure that we are hard to beat, carrying the ball forward, and Enzo's going to be making those key passes. Lavia, could it potentially be an Enzo Fernandez, Lavia in more advanced positions while Moises Caicedo sweeps up at the back? Are we going to see Moises Caicedo and Lavia maybe more in those 2 double-6 pivots, and we're going to see Enzo Fernandez pushed a bit forward as we saw him on the weekend? There's still question marks being raised, but you would imagine being keen to secure Lavia's signature would suggest that there is a place for Lavia in this starting 11. And of course, he's not going to dethrone Enzo Fernandez or Moises Caicedo. So you would see perhaps Enzo Fernandez might be the further advanced player, or it could potentially be Romeo Lavia. But given Lavia's main skill sets, his main profile of player is, incredible at intercepting, incredible at winning back possession, is he going to be deployed further up the pitch more than Enzo would? I wouldn't see it. So Lavia and Caicedo pairing with Enzo Fernandez further up the pitch is absolutely mouthwatering. And while it doesn't scream goals and assists, I think this is the season we're going to see him add some more numbers to his game. He hasn't really convinced me as a finisher. He doesn't quite have that killer instinct in front of goal, but everything else is elite. And, he can make a tackle as well, but passing ability, left foot, right foot, inside the boot, outside the boot, long range, mid range, short range passing, it's all exceptional. It was all on display against Liverpool. And there's so many reasons to be excited for Chelsea's prospects this season. We've got one game a week at the moment, barring some domestic competitions. And Pochettino, Chelsea, we're going to get cooking on the training field, hopefully. And come the weekend when we have got these fixtures, and we've got these Premier League games, we have hopefully nailed down our strategy. We've got the chemistry amongst the players, and we are going to start cooking. We're going to start scoring goals, and we're going to start playing beautiful football. I'm very excited. Chelsea have clearly still got some pulling power. At the end of the day, playing under Jurgen Klopp is pretty much a dream scenario for most players. He gets the best out of you. He builds that relationship. He turns you into a better player. And Liverpool are a fortress. I will always pay respect where respect is due. And Liverpool are an incredible team with Jurgen Klopp under the helm. The fact that Caicedo and Lavia have both snubbed the opportunity to go play with Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp and to play in the Europa, you would say that that's short-lived. They're potentially favourites to win that competition. And on top of that, you would fancy them to get into the top 4 this season had Caicedo and Lavia walked through the door, had they agreed to join Liverpool. Now, question marks are raised. For all that wealth of attack Liverpool have got, they haven't been able to secure a midfield. Now, this pulling power Chelsea have got has surprised me, I must say. I think Todd Boehly has been very shrewd in these long contracts he's been offering players. These, I think, 7 years, 8 years seem to be the going rate at this minute. And these are the contracts Boehly are offering to all new signings. Now, it is, of course, a risky strategy. And I think that hopefully Chelsea need to get back to winning ways at this point. We need to get into the top 4. We need to get that Champions League football. And we need to perhaps, really start challenging for silverware, domestic cups and the Premier League at this point. We need to be putting ourselves amongst the Man Cities and Arsenals at this point. But it is very surprising how this pulling power Chelsea have got. Because it wasn't too long ago we weren't really getting the names we wanted. We were getting snubbed, whether it was Erling Haaland, whether it was Declan Rice, whether it was all these players that we wanted. It did always feel like they weren't keen on joining Chelsea. It looks like we've regained some of that power, and you've got to give that to Boehly and these long-term contracts. Of course, the allure of London and the King's Road is, of course, strong, but in a footballing sense, I think we've had to work hard considering our dip in form, considering the shenanigans that have surrounded the club. But securing Lavia and Caicedo is, a huge turning point, I think. And I think that players are going to follow suit in the future. They are going to look at these players and the wealth of talent that we've got now, that we've been able to secure, we should be good. Of course, there are still maybe some areas we need to improve on, but you can't do it all overnight. I think we need to see how this season progresses. I have no idea about who else is going to come through the door. I think we're still rumoured with Elise, but at the end of the day, we should have enough firepower to score goals, to be defensively astute, and we should be progressing up the pitch, and we should be making sure that we're getting 3 points pretty much on every game. We should fancy ourselves to be winning games of football now. It's West Ham next. Prediction video is going to come this weekend. I cannot wait to play that game. I think the Liverpool game, of course, you know, you're always going to take a point at Liverpool, a point to Liverpool. Yes, we were at home, but considering how bad we were last season, first day of the new project, and how well we played in that second half, I'm pleased. And with these new signings, they could potentially be on the team sheet come Sunday at the London Stadium against West Ham. It's all very, very exciting. But guys, let me know what you think about Moises Caicedo and Lavia coming through the door. Are you excited? How are we going to play? What is this midfield? What is going to be the system? What's going to be the structure? And like this video if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And I'll see you guys in the next one.